do it, y'all. Hey, Google, pause. Hey, y'all, welcome to another exciting episode of Tyson Unfiltered. Um, man, y'all, it's been a minute. And this episode isn't going to be that long. I'm really tired. We just finished filming season 2 of Talk It Up. First 4 episodes we did this evening, so I'm really excited about that. It was great to be back at the table with everyone. um, yeah, so that happened, so I'm kind of talked out at the moment. I really just wanted to jump on. I can't even remember. Today is July, June, January. It's one of these J's. January 19th, 2023. I'm not sure if this is my first time jumping on this year. Can't remember. But if it is, Happy New Year. I wanted to jump on. Quite a bit has been happening per the usual. I am in a very interesting space in life. I am really kind of planning my what's next. As you all know, I work in the television space and have been doing uh, variations of talk shows, entertainment reporting, and all of that stuff for the last 7 years. And I just kind of want something different. So I'm figuring out what that is, which is exciting and terrifying, and all the other ing words, adjectives. But it's mostly exciting. Um, I have another show which is called, I didn't really have a name for it. I started out with Grief Talks, and then talking to my friend Shayla, she gave me this name that I absolutely love, which is called Good Grief. Um, and that's basically our show that centers around the various stages of grief and looking at grief from different angles. Last year, well, 2 years ago now, 2021 was when I suffered the loss of her formal title is grandmother, but she was my mother. She was the mother figure that I had that raised me. She passed away, Doretha Frederick. She passed away February 18th, 2021. Sidebar, February 18th is actually the anniversary of when I moved to LA in the first place. So I always asked her, even when I was a kid, I was like, please don't, I know you can't control it, but please do not die on my birthday. Like, I don't always want to be sad when Christmas comes around. My birthday's on Christmas. I don't always want to be sad. Like, please, please, please. So she didn't die on Christmas. She died on the 18th, which is ironic considering that the hardest thing I did uh, was leaving Orlando to come to LA. Leaving her was the hardest thing in the world, and it's just ironic that that is the anniversary date that she died on. But anyway, so my friend Shayla, her husband passed away. It, I don't. I know the funeral was in March. He might have passed away at the end of February, but I think it was like the third or something. It was the beginning of March, I believe. Um, and so she is experiencing grief from a completely different angle, but at the same time that I am. And my line brother, frat brother, best friend Benjamin, he lost his father New Year's of this year, January 1st, 2023. And so now he's now on his journey for grief. And so I've been having so many conversations, and I'm like, okay, I gotta start sharing this stuff. So the show is called Good Grief. I'm working to really put it together, but that's something else that I've been working on, passion project, and I can't wait to put it out there. It's literally going to go through. Well, let me just tell you this. The reason why I want to do it is because grief, tragedy, that type of tragedy is the only thing that we all will experience We all won't experience having children. We all won't experience buying a home or a car, or being the CEOs of companies, or being NBA players or football players or famous or whatever. We all won't experience those things, but we will all experience death. We will all have someone that we love that will pass on. And then we too will pass on and have to have things in order and in play for our family members that are left here. But for some reason, and not just in the Black community, but in the global community, obviously I can't speak for foreign traditions because I don't know those. But as far as I know, on the main stage, grief is not something that people readily talk about. Yeah, they acknowledge it, but they don't talk about how the journey, the process, things you can do to aid in the process. Like, hearing other people's stories is how we learn. So I feel like, since we're all going to experience this, the things that I've learned, I now want to share so that hopefully you all don't have to deal with some of the BS that I dealt with. One thing I can say is my grandmother, for the financially, had everything in order. I'm not saying that she had just millions and millions of dollars, so it wasn't like huge estates, but she was a nice thousand snare. She was great, and so the her planning her funeral, her memorial service, was fairly easy. I say that to say that the planning of it was fairly easy because she had everything in order. There wasn't a lot of arguing. Um, so, yeah, but anyway, um, but I know a lot of people that the story is the complete opposite. And so, tricks of the trade, things you can do, um, you know, as I said, I intend to have Benjamin on the show. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this a little bit. Um, but, you know, so far, Benjamin has experienced emotions that he didn't know that he had. And that's one of the things that we would talk about on the show. The fact that with grief, you really don't know how it's going to affect you until it happens. Like, in theory, we go through different stages where, I used to say, oh, my grandmother passes away, I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to fall out. It's going to be a whole big thing because I'm going to be so distraught. Sure, that's how I felt. But did I actually do that? No, because when I finally was introduced to grief, I actually had a feeling of peace and comfort, and not necessarily, I won't use the word excitement, but maybe the word is just solace, peace, relief. Uh, my grandmother, especially the last year. So my grandmother fell in 2018, and when she fell around December of 2018, she hit her head. And so 2019, she spent that entire year recovering from that head injury. Like, she had severe, what seemed like crippling headaches, the light, everything. So that entire year she went dealing with that and trying to get on the road to recovery from those headaches, while also doing physical therapy and trying to keep her mobility. But when she lost her vision, which isn't a direct result of the fall, losing the vision uh, was I'm calling it this, a botched cataract surgery. That's really when she kind of went on her decline. And the last year, maybe, she was really dependent, in the sense that she couldn't, like, do anything for herself, clean. Like, she could eat, yes, but she couldn't, shower, go to the bathroom, all of those things. She needed assistance. So, and I know that someone as so independent as she was, um, that was torture. So I know it may sound weird to hear it said like that, but I felt a sense of relief for her. Now, I believe her spirit is just, she's going. I feel her all the time. but it's not a sadness. It's always a happy joy. Sure, there are times that I, you know, cry and miss her and all of those things as any child would, but overall, I'm happy she's not suffering. So, but like I said, everybody's journey and stuff is different. So, but those are the kind of things that we would kind of talk about on the show. So I don't even know how I got on that topic, but it was forefront of mind, so I figured I would share. Uh, I'll share this also. Who was I talking? I know I was talking to Benjamin, but I don't remember. Oh, I guess the conversation was that we both at different times have kind of realized some things about ourselves. And, he said that Benjamin always tells a story that, like, when he enters a room or when he does something, like, he commands his presence, commands attention. And he used to say it, but didn't really understand why or didn't embrace it or whatever. And he was talking about getting to a place where he understands who he is and all of those things. And I was like, I just am now starting to have these revelations, but looking back on myself, maybe 2018-ish, um, looking at my body and everything, I was fine as shit. That's the only way I could say it. Like, I actually had the body, I had it. Y'all see this? I had a really good face. Like, I literally said, wow, I was fine and didn't know it. I was literally existing in this world, having great experiences, but I really didn't fully grasp my power. And not saying that my look is my power, but it is one of many uh, positives or powers or however you want to look at it. But and y'all know I'm not an arrogant person at all, but my point is being aware of what you bring to the table is so important. People talk about getting paid with their worth and wanting to be treated a certain way and all of those things, which, yes, 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 we do want all of that. But charity starts at home. You have to understand what you bring to the table before you can demand that everyone respect it, embrace it, see it, honor it, love on it. Like, you have to get there first. And I wasn't there. I didn't hate myself, obviously. Obviously, I knew I wasn't a troll or anything like that. But, I'm just a regular ass nigga. Like, I had other shit on my mind. Looks and all of that is just not at the top of my list. But we all know that society is kinder uh, to good looking people. Its studies have been shown to prove that good looking people, taller people, athletic people, all they tend to get further ahead in life. The majority of our presidents have not been shorter than like 6'1" or 6 feet or something. So it's my point is there was just a lot of power that I naturally wielded around that I wasn't even aware of. So I've since Benjamin's father passed, we've been like, I don't know if we were too busy or what, but I feel like we're getting to know each other a little bit differently and having different conversations about self-discovery and self-awareness and all of those things. So that's kind of the space that I'm in uh, these days. Yeah. P.S. Got a haircut today. My boy did a good job. So my barber that I have had for forever, I've been in LA for 8 years. It'll be 8 years in February. Um, I've had the same barber, Jeremy. And last year, Ben introduced me. It was Ben again. Ben introduced me to a barber that he was using, and that guy is really good, and he would be my backup barber. Well, Jeremy moved to San Bernardino, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So clearly I'm not going to him every week or at all. I said when I do the big chop, I'm gonna go to him. But so now I go to Raphael, and he did my hair today. And yes, the big chop is coming. I don't know when. I still want to play with this a little bit more before I do it, but I honestly have been wanting to cut my hair since 2021. Definitely 2022. I was itching to cut it. I did get my ends trimmed, and Neil cut way more than I thought. And not saying that he overcut. No, he really did only cut the ends, but I didn't realize it was going to be that drastic of a cut. So now I kind of growing it back out a little bit, and then I'm gonna play with it in the meantime and just see what happens. But a big chop is coming, and I reserve the right to change my mind, and the big chop could come sooner than later. So don't be surprised if you see me and it's gone. But yeah, everything is working today. As I said, we filmed the show. I still have on makeup. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Can't wait to wash this off, but I figured I'd jump on um, before I wash it all off. I wanted y'all to get the decompressed version. On these episodes, we talked a lot. We talked about Gabrielle Union and her situation with Chris Howard, where she said that they were both unfaithful, and she felt comfortable cheating because she was the breadwinner.
So Gabrielle Union sat down with multiple outlets, and she talked about the fact that in her first marriage, she was not faithful. And she said that she felt comfortable not being faithful because she was the breadwinner. So I want to ask you all, have you ever been in that situation? Do you think that that comes with the territory? The person that pays the bills literally can and should do whatever they want? Or do you think it doesn't matter who's paying the bills? Everyone deserves to be treated with respect. And also, let's also point out, Gabrielle said that both parties were not faithful in this marriage.
They don't even look like they go together. Like cousins. I'm my cousin.
About my cousin, yes.
Because he visited.
It's my god brother.
Before.
I think as the resident relationship expert on this show, I feel like certified. Ask about me. I definitely feel like it's interesting that for a woman that she thought because she was the breadwinner that she was allowed to do her thing. Which I think a lot of times on the flip side, a lot of men feel like because I'm bringing home the bacon, I'm allowed to go play with other people. It sounded to me though like they more so had an open marriage than anything, and they didn't know what to call it back then. But it sounded like there was an open marriage. There was an understanding that I'm allowed to do my thing, you do your thing, and we'll meet.
We talked about Meghan and Harry, that whole situation. We talked a lot about racism because it's just so much. It's everywhere.
So this story caught my eye. It takes place in South Africa, and basically there were a group of teens that were visiting. They were camping with their family, and they came to, at a resort, they came to a situation where other members of the pool were asking them to get out. Other residents that were staying there asked the black kids to get out, and they even had a sign posted saying whites only. And in the video, you all can see, the children being accosted by these grown men, ages 37, 42, and 57. So these are grown men dealing with teenagers. What do y'all think about this? This is in South Africa. They've had a history of racism that is eerily similar to, the United States, and clearly some other things are still going on here.
I seen this and it pissed me off on so many different levels. These are young kids. Let's start there. They're young kids. Underage, enjoying themselves. It's 2023 and we're still dealing with whites only, but blacks are not allowed.
Just check out the episode. Season 2 of Talk It Up is coming really soon. I am falling asleep now, so I'm going to say good night or good morning. What time is it? Hey, Google, what time is it? It's 2:14 a.m. So, on that note, I wish you all well. Make sure you bring a friend and bring a snack. We'll be back.